some places where you have hard water, or the water has more lime in it or something. Calcium, just 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 random things that you hear in chemistry class. And I know that certain waters dry the skin and do different things, but
Yeah.
the fact that this man had avoided taking a bath for 60 plus years, and the moment he took a bath, shortly after that, he got sick. I mean, that's kind of a wild.
Can be beautiful if you let it.
In the bowl.
Yo, 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 what do you know? Welcome to In the Bowl podcast. Shout out to Hustle Five Ways for hosting. I'm your host, Nas.
It's your guy, Tall Man, live from Dubai.
And as always, In the Bowl podcast is sponsored by your nation's own #1 mobile hookah provider, Sisha to You. But they not only do private events, they do wholesale distribution and take it to that next level. What's up? What's happening?
Man, what is going on, my friend? How have you been?
Man, I can't complain, man. I can't complain. I think, that change of season. I don't know if I'm wearing a raincoat, hoodie, or short sleeves. I don't know. I don't know what we're doing today, but, just taking it 1 hour at a time.
Hey, I see, man. I see you got the elbows out, man. I hope that you are well moisturized and you're not going to embarrass yourself on camera.
You know how I feel. You are a representation when you leave out that house, So you gotta make sure you stay right,
Exactly. But
It's funny.
I, no, go ahead.
No, I was saying it's just funny what you keep in the car, right? Because you just make sure when you get out, you be having to do the double check, right? It's like, I got this, I got that, I got my, got my lotion. You know what I'm saying? I got my vitamin A and D, make sure I'm straight.
The necessities, you got to have it.
Got you. Now, what's up?
No, I was
What's up
just,
with you?
no, I was going to say, man, we're kind of getting a little touch of, that changing weather. I mean, the morning it's like 75, 80 degrees, but then in the afternoon it still creeps up to 90. It's supposed to be wintertime here. It's supposed to be 80s, but it is what it is. There's nothing too extreme where you gotta have, the parker in the morning, the hoodie and around lunchtime, and nothing extreme, but still a little annoying though. Still a little annoying.
You're going to 90 degrees. No one has any sympathy for you. No one's sitting there saying, "Woe is me." No one has any sympathy for you, dog. You'll be all right.
Hey, man.
Crazy. It
Nah,
doesn't
nah.
even make sense. Like, you think of wintertime, I automatically associate it with at least give me a hoodie, right? It could be it's supposed to be one of the warmest, winters we have, but we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I do think climate change is kind of crazy.
Yeah,
And I
it's
think it could potentially be a real
something.
thing. I don't think I know all the science behind it, but I do think it's definitely a real thing.
Yeah, it's definitely some signs. I'm not gonna sit here and say I rock with one side or the other, but I mean you got to be observant of what's going on. You got crazier hurricanes and weather and that flooding everywhere. I was came across something yesterday that they were talking about the Mississippi River and how low the water levels are, and it's wild. I saw this lady was photographed, walking through the sand, and you would think that she was somewhere in the Sahara Desert. The way the angle was shot. But she was walking, where the Mississippi River used to be. So yeah, it could be something to it.
Man, that's crazy how some areas are going to be unfortunately depleted of resources, and some areas are going to, some levels of water are going to be, some of them's over. Some of them you've seen some of the rivers, or some of the levels have also risen, and stuff is melting at the same time. So it's just, I don't know, man. It's the way this world is and how the shift is. It's just, Get into a very interesting time.
Indeed, indeed. I know we talked about, the lake out in Vegas a few times, where they got, bodies popping up and, old cars and just a little bit of everything. So yeah, it's definitely something's going on.
Something's going on, but I will say, man, this week I was test driving an electric vehicle.
Interesting.
Yeah, I know Tesla and all that's been out, right? But it just makes me think. Like I caught myself trying to do my part, right, to see what it's talking about. But and I think depending on what it is, I think you do get some. There's also a lot of negatives that come with it. But I will say that just driving in general is different. I will say you can feel the difference when not having to the gas go through the system, right? You know what I'm saying? That to get to that point, that shit just hits a point right in there. That shit hits off the line crazy. But then you can't even go that far. So I don't know, man. I'm trying to figure out you can't go that far because then you freaking out like, damn, what the fuck am I about to charge? Am I gonna charge for 4 hours? Am I gonna charge for 30 minutes? You're just like It will take you some time if you ever want to take that shit on a road trip.
Yeah, I think until that they perfect that, I think I'm definitely staying away from that lane because if I'm only getting 350 miles, I mean that's nothing. You think about taking a trip down to Georgia or something. That's about 550, 620, easy. So you mean to tell me this 10-hour trip just turned into a 2-day trip because I got to stop somewhere and charge up for 6 hours? And if you stop for 6 hours, you're not getting back on the road, man. You're going to sleep or you're doing something. You're stopping in Charlotte and hanging out for the weekend.
Yeah, I'm there for the day. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going through two different meals. I'm there for the day. But before we continue, we got to do a cheers. I know we just, got to do a cheers to another one.
Sir.
Definitely do that. But, yeah, man. What else is up? What else is going on?
Oh, man, I was catching up. I know we were out last weekend. I've done something crazy. So brunch in Dubai is like an experience. We talked about that before.
Yeah.
So weekend before last, one of my folks out here, his wife wanted to throw him a, surprise birthday brunch. So had that event, and then last weekend, another one of my folks had some folks in town from the States, and they wanted to hit 2 brunches. So one brunch was from 3 until 8. The second brunch was from 8 until 1. And Sunday was a rough Sunday, man, because when you go to the brunches, it's all inclusive. So pretty much everything is there, and it's I was a little bit taken back. I was surprised with the second brunch because you think you're going to a late brunch. We go in there, they got sushi. They had some amazing lamb chops. Lamb was just the lamb was so good. That when they were bringing lamb to the table, this person who had probably had one too many beverages was so intrigued and so eager to get the lamb. He reached off our plate, to grab a piece of lamb. And now, mind you, this is a spot where it's all inclusive. So if you want more or something, just tell your server like, "Hey, I want some more lamb. I want some more sushi." So it's not like it's not like my man couldn't get a fresh tray at his table.
Yeah.
But that just tells how good the lamb was, and the shisha was solid. I was impressed. I was impressed. So the second spot had the shisha, so I'm like, all right, now we're in business, man. But I'm going on record to say that for the next 3 weeks, Tall Man will not be attending any brunches. I need to enjoy my Saturday now, man, because that 4 or 5 hours, it takes a toll on you.
I can dig it. Well, I'll be remiss before we even get into like the topics. I'll be remiss. I had to put it on for the real HU. On the real one, they just had their homecoming. I'm getting calls that said it was live. You know, they got a new president down there, and you know they saying it's about to be good money, like big money going on around there. So I think it's dope to see that people are definitely investing and giving back in. And I think even
Yeah,
after that, this while we're still at the end or whatever you want to call it, a pandemic, or if we're still in it, you know, I love seeing. I've been watching for this month. You know, what I'm saying all the homecomings and how excited people have been. You know, what I'm saying just to get back to see their folks. Cause they always say
yeah.
like folks in school will be some of your long life friends.
No, this is
One
true.
thing I've appreciated about HBCU, right, and you know, at the point to where it's just like it's a real tight family. You know what I'm saying? Some folks you're cool with, some folks you ain't. Hoopty whoop. But at the end of the day, is you know, folks ain't see each other for a while, so it's just good to see some good folks get together and just hang out. You know,
Yeah,
so you know, Irish dope. So I had to call it that. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't put that in before my boys went in, so we back on track. So we're good.
yeah, yeah. Speaking of your boys, man, I will say I'm happy about this time of year. Because sports is at every day you can find something to indulge in. You got soccer is kicked back off. You got the World Cup
Yeah,
getting ready to start in 20 some odd days. 45 minutes from here. You got the NBA back. NFL is in full swing. But there's one gripe I have about the NFL, and it's about these Thursday games. And about the Thursday games being on Amazon Prime. Because
that is wild.
if you remember, not too long ago, when Thursdays was our day. We go out, we hang out, we watch the game, play some
Yeah.
cards. But now, if you go out somewhere and if the venue doesn't have Amazon, you're not watching the game. That's crazy.
No, that's what I'm saying. They forced in people's hand, right? And it's interesting you say that, and I'll get into it in a minute. But yeah, they forcing people's hand of what to do, right?
Yeah,
It's forcing you know everyone to spend more and you know get another thing. You know, you can sit there and have whatever little streaming devices you have, but you know what I'm saying they're forcing you to spend another dollar. You know, so and it makes me kind of just even think about, like you said, I have a gripe about that because well, at one point it was on, you know, ESPN, then when NFL Network, and now it's on Prime, right? So it's always
yeah,
something, right? So it's like, damn, y'all make enough money. Like, come on, y'all wild. Y'all should make it free, like to even people who have low income, right? Like, why would you make it to where now they got to go somewhere, or if they don't have Prime, what you gonna do?
yeah. And, I mean, most people have ESPN, NFL Network, but I'm like Prime. So now you're trying to call venues ahead of time, reach out to someone. They may not be open. Like, hey, are you showing the game tonight? And I'm already in a location where, NFL is, I don't even want to say, secondary. You got the big soccer following, of course. And,
Yeah,
you just had the cricket championship. Cricket's big. So the NFL is kind of low on the totem pole. So it's like
yeah,
you are, relegated to your couch, watch the game where, you can't even step out, I mean, if you wanted
yeah,
to, but
yeah. No, facts, facts. But it makes, like you said, you open it up to what's been on my mind. I think when we talk about stuff that's going on now, you know, I think I've been really thinking, and we talked about it a little bit before, but I've been really thinking about that whole thing where, you know, words have power. You know, I know we talked about it
hmm
before, but, you know, with everything going on in the news right now, which we'll get into, but, you know, we talk about mental health and how some people are driven to take their lives because of what someone has said. You know, people argue about the First Amendment. You know, you can't take it. Your amendments are your rights of what you can do. So, as I mentioned even a couple of weeks ago, you know, I was vague on it when we closed out a show. You know, I was like, people always want to pick and choose what's convenient for them, right? And so this is one of those things to where it's like people pick and choose about the First Amendment, and I'll say even for me, it's like you should allow someone to say what they got to say, but But I think an issue that we do have as a people is we judge what someone has said, even if it's not a fact, it's an opinion. And their thought of that fact, which then again is an opinion, right? So
Right.
now most people can't argue, 1 + 1 is 2, 2 + 2 is 4, you know what I'm saying? But you can't argue that. You know what I'm saying? But it's like to take someone's First Amendment, it's hard to say what side of the fence you live on. And again, as human, I think you pick and choose.
Yeah.
Right? Because now, obviously, we talk about Kanye. In all his interviews, it's interesting how he's done a road tour of, I would call, foolery.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the reason why I say I guess on one of his most recent ones with what's it, Piers Morris or whatever, Uncensored.
No. Yeah. 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 Plies Morgan.
Yeah, Morgan, yeah. He kind of recaps of what he says, and it's like, I don't know, man. I will say Kanye's a genius, right? But you can still have a misguided genius, though. You know what I'm saying? You can have
Yeah.
an insensitive genius. You can have whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? But he says some shit to where I don't know what side of the fence to be on. And I'll be honest, he said some fucked up shit. But he also said some other
Yeah.
shit that you can agree with.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what side of the fence do you go on, right? And it's like, I think people forget that, you can do 999 things perfect, right? You can do like, damn, man, that was a good play. That was a good move, whatever. That one move, like I think you also take away of everything you've done also.
Yeah. Yeah. Which he's getting, hitting his pockets, right now. Because, I agree with you. I mean, he did say some stuff that is merit, but then he kind of goes off on a tangent, on some other things. And I think that his message gets lost,
Yeah.
when he starts putting, too much of his opinions and feelings behind it.
Yeah. No,
So just, sticking to the facts, and everybody picks up on his opinions. And I mean, everyone knows that he is a truly a highly opinionated individual. I know that we say we're highly opinionated individuals, but his opinions have so much passion behind it,
yeah.
and he has such a big platform, for his opinions that it's a gift and a curse. And I saw yesterday that I guess he was downgraded from being a billionaire, because I know he fought for like a year or two,
Yeah.
to be recognized as a billionaire. And he said, folks were holding him back and not trying to classify him. And one fell swoop, you lose two major deals, and all of a sudden his net worth is now, I think it was like 400 million, which is I mean, still nothing to to common person. Yeah, no, I mean a $400 million worth is still something, but
Yeah.
I know that he stood so much on being the richest black man and things of that nature. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how this continues to play out. What I mean, because like I said, with the endorsement deals and you know business partnerships dissolving, it's gonna be a rough road ahead for that man.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's crazy. I mean, it's like, but like I said, man, he says some shit to where it's like you just can't ride with. Like, obviously, one of the biggest ones, the whole George Floyd thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, to
Yeah,
minimize that and take that away. But then you always preaching about, Christianity. You're preaching about, you being a Jew. You preach about, you know what I'm saying? I just think there's
yeah,
a lot of stuff he contradicts. Of like, I don't know really if your words match your actions, or your actions are trying to do that platform. But he's a genius. And I think sometimes we definitely get lost in his message. And I also don't know if I agree with his approach with some of his messaging. That's him. You know what I'm saying? So it goes back
Yeah,
to the amendment, right? Can I be mad at what this man has said? I mean, that's how he feels. That's his opinion. You know what I'm saying? If you had those thoughts, how would you want to be perceived? I just think I don't
yeah.
know, so much behind it.
You know, and that's the thing, though. I mean, the First Amendment is, the amendment is pretty, cut and dry. But like you said, the reaction of folks when you are, expressing your First Amendment can be a, really slippery slope.
Facts. Like,
Because
to the point to where you can
there
hurt
are
someone.
some things. Yeah, exactly. So I mean, so we have the First Amendment, but you also have responsibility to. I don't want to say to act responsibly, but you do have to be mindful of certain things. And yes, you have the freedom to say what you want, but you also have to be prepared for any of the backlash or rebuttals or anything that comes along with it. I mean, the two
Right.
go hand in hand. It's not just a free card like playing spades. Like boom, all right, it's the big kitty. It's
Yeah.
done. It's the big joker. It's ramifications behind that. I mean, if you
Yeah,
playing
everything.
spades and you throw the big joker out too soon, I mean, you could still screw yourself. So it's like I said, man, it's a slippery slope there.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. I don't know. I think, like you say, I think when it comes to that First Amendment, I think it's how it's also being used. You know what I'm saying? I think he has a platform to where it could be, make some statements and make some change. He's talking about running for presidency and how his whole staff is going to be black, and you know what I'm saying, or he's trying to reach Jew or whatever direction he's going into. It's like, I don't know, man, right there. I think I don't know. I think it's just wild, man. I think he's on a planet where he's trying to figure it out of not giving a fuck of whether he fits in or not.
Yeah.
And he keeps on saying, like, he's funny. He said, I do this shit because I'm rich. I can do what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? And but that goes back to, what oppressors used to do. You know what I'm saying? Of doing shit like that also. And having that mentality. Like, I'm a better class, and I can do whatever I want to do, say what I want to say, and not really give a fuck.
Yeah, and at the same time, when your wealth is garnered, by partnerships and business relationships and things like that, I don't think you really can say that with your chest poked out that I'm rich and I can do whatever I want to do.
Mm,
Because as we've seen, he went from being super rich to being rich,
yeah.
and just a matter of a week or two because his wealth was linked to something else. So I don't know. I mean, you have to be mindful of that. I mean, you can't speak with when you start speaking with arrogance, things get dangerous.
No, I agree, man. I agree. I think I'm interested. I mean, again, I can't go too deep into it, but I think it's without knowing of it. And one thing I've learned too, though, I think a lot of the social media thing, right? It's not even just on Kanye, you know what I'm saying? Or Ye, it's more on like social media can paint narratives.
Oh yeah,
People get snippets and paint and make a story out of snippets. Right? I think you really gotta, know the whole story to make a comment on certain things, but it's also what you're fed. We talk about like words or influence. I was talking with my folks today just about how, like you said, word has power, and depending on how you use that power, influence and things. So people getting paid to be influencers, using their words, using nonverbal
yeah,
or verbal communication, right? And it's wild. It's wild as shit. It's like, what I'm saying? You drive people over the edge, right? Because you paint an image and you're communicating out there like this is what perfection looks like.
yeah.
And so just imagine what you're doing to like little kids and shit like that. I mean, he got to the point now to where, you know, shit's getting pulled from Ye on even his academy. So things he's
Yeah.
doing is being covered just by him not understanding as to maybe you can have some of those feelings, but realize how important that delivery is also, and how the context is.
Yeah, I mean, age-old statement. You know, I mean, with great power comes great responsibility. You know, I mean, you have to use it wisely.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. I just find it interesting, man. I'm just like, I don't know, man. It's like it's one of those things where it's crazy out here. So when you ask me what's been on my mind, man, it just makes me think of like now raising a child in this era. You know, this type of shit you gotta look out for. So it starts back on the foundation and how strong it could be, because there's a lot of folks out here that depend, that no matter what their intent or what they feel like their purpose is, can guide people in some very, you know, deep directions, dark directions.
Yeah, this is true. And speaking of wild things, you know, I came across this article, you know, talking about IHOP. And it's talking about IHOP charging $17 for grilled tilapia, right? So my first question is, one, why are you going to IHOP, the International House of Pancakes, to order baked fish or grilled fish? That's my first question, right? And, and you know, and I feel some sort of way about tilapia because it almost seems like, you know, a handful of years ago, tilapia just came out the blue. It's like, all right, I've never heard anybody go fishing and saying, yeah, I caught some tilapia, I brought it back. You know, here you go. You know, it was a fish that appeared that was reasonably priced, you know, to where you can get a, you know, a couple pounds of it, you know, for like $8 or $9. And I know with the cost of things right now, it may be $10, you know, who knows? But, you know, I did a little research and, you know, there's no record of tilapia prior to 1992. So that just further begs the question of where did tilapia come from,
Isn't it like
right?
it's like breeded fish, ain't it? It's like breeded. It's a combination of two fishes that they may had mate, and then now you have tilapia. So that's why you can't ever find wild caught or anything like that, right?
No, it is a farm fish. I mean, you are absolutely correct. And in theory, it's supposed to be a healthy fish. But like I said, I'm very skeptical about, you know, what I eat and what I put in my body. And for this fish to have, you know, I mean, no record and just appear, like I said, I've always been uneasy about it. You know, I'm going out getting fried fish. I'm like, hey, what is that? Oh, that's tilapia? Nah, I'm good. You know, if it's
I
whiting,
ain't
I'm
fried
locked in.
tilapia. They have fried yeah, no, fuck, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah, that's nah. Fried whiting, okay. You know, some catfish that, you know, of
Yeah.
course we love, all for it. But, you know, so just hearing that whole thing just strung together of, you know, IHOP charging so much for, you know, tilapia just, you know, really blew my mind because I'm like, who was really sitting down? You know, you go to IHOP, you know, you go in the morning, you know, get your pancakes and coffee or something, pancake day. I mean, of course, there are a million different pancake places out there. I've hit IHOP in the past, but it definitely wouldn't be, you know, my top choice of, you know, I want some pancakes, let me hit IHOP.
Yeah, I
But
will sit there and say, being in the DMV, right? Again, we are opinionated. If you don't like it, leave a comment, or, you know, do what you feel that you need to do is best. But I will say that, yeah, IHOP, man, it's no longer, you know, the spot where you go to in the middle of the night, right? It's no longer the after club. Like, especially if you're in the DMV and you actually know shit going on. There's so many late night spots that are 30 times better than IHOP. And,
exactly.
you know, I'm not trying to, but then like you say, you know, just imagine being like, you know what, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm gonna have me some big tilapia from IHOP. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And I'm not here to judge. And if you do, you know what I'm saying, it's more power to you. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, try to expand the palette a little bit. You know what I'm saying? See what else is, explore the horizon. See what else is out there, because you could do better. You could definitely do better off of that.
Well, you know what? I am going to judge because if it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon and you're like, hey, I want to go get some, I want to get some grilled tilapia. There's a million other places that you can go to get that grilled tilapia versus on IHOP. It's a bunch of, seafood spots where you can go get your fish fix. So I am judging. I want to know, what is your rationale? What is your reason for going to a pancake establishment to get some grilled fish?
That's real. I don't care if you're smacked or not. There's no reason why you need to
Nah.
go to IHOP to get tilapia. You can go somewhere else. You definitely go somewhere else. And like you said, it's just crazy how all of a sudden it appeared in the 90s.
Yeah,
You know,
1992, man.
you know
The
what I'm
fish
saying?
appeared.
Yeah, I remember at one point, I'm not gonna act like I never had tilapia before. I'm not even act like that. But
Yeah, no,
I,
same here.
I will say it has been some time.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know?
I was walking around the grocery store, I saw the pack and I was like, oh, that's not bad for this price point. It's a white fish. I'm like, all right,
Mm-hmm.
cool. Hey, I've never seen it before. I've been overlooking it, but nah, I mean, when you know better, you do better.
Actually, I can't tell you the last time I had tilapia, to be honest.
No,
Yeah, I can't count on my fingers when the last time I had it, so I'm good. I'm gonna pass on the tilapia joint, but somebody make some catfish, real fish and grits. You know what I'm saying? I'm all about it.
exactly.
I like it. Let
Catfish,
me
the real
know.
fish.
There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go.
The real fish. I can go out to the pond and catch the catfish. I can't go out to. I can't hop out on the boat and go get some tilapia. I'll be at
Mm.
somebody's backyard concoction or something. I don't know, man.
It's in a incubator, man. It's in something that they just, you know what I'm saying, a cage that they mate, and why nah, I'm good. You don't know what else they putting in that little water to
No,
attract them, make them mate or whatever that is. Now all of a sudden you have random fish.
exactly, exactly, man. So what else is going on in your world, man?
Not much, man. I think that with everything that is going on, I remember. So there's a story about. I was watching this. There's this area up in Maryland, up in the mountains, and they're basically, they're arguing because people are trying to move there, but they're trying to pass this bill where they're not going to allow anyone else to move there. And I think that's such a fucking small way of thinking, right? It's like I I get it, but I don't in the sense that I know for me, you know what I'm saying, when you get into real estate, yeah, you want your home and everything to be peaceful. But now all of a sudden you're arguing because people are trying to increase your net worth. But you're like, nah, I don't want people to move here. If you don't want growth, like I'm just confused. I don't know. I don't know, man. It's just I think about all this shit, man. It's you just sit there and there's fucking weird ass people out here. Fucking weird.
Yeah, yeah,
Weird. What
yeah.
you got?
That's man. Well, I did. I had a buddy who sent me this article yesterday morning, and it came across my news feed later on in the day. So I decided to dig a little deeper into it. So the name of the article was "The World's Dirtiest Man Has Died." So it's
30s.
this dude who lived, I believe it was in Iran, somewhere in southeast Iran, and his name was called Uncle Haji. He died this week. So this guy was 94 years old, and he had not taken a bath in over 60 years. As he claimed that, I mean, taking a bath, or something in the water, he was going to get sick, and he just wasn't going to do it. So my man decided to avoid eating fresh foods and, literally lived off the land. He slept in like a little hole, and during the wintertime, I guess, some people from the village had built him like a a four wall shack, that he took refuge in. But apparently, a few months ago, some of the villagers had, picked him up and took the man to go take a bath. Shortly after he took the bath, the man fell ill, and he has now passed away. So that kind of makes you think, was he right that, I mean, it was something, in the water. He's like, yeah, I'm not putting that water on me, and I'm good. Because, I've lived in some places where, you have hard water, or the water has more lime in it or something, calcium, just just random, things that you hear in chemistry class. And, I know that, certain waters dry the skin and do different things, but
Yeah.
the fact that this man had avoided taking a bath for 60 plus years, and the moment he took a bath, shortly after that, he got sick. I mean, that's kind of a wild story,
That's some wild shit. I'm not gonna lie. I
man.
think that is fucked up that they forced that man to take a bath. My man was just chilling, minding his business. You know what I'm saying? He lived in a dirt hole. He had to bother nobody. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? If you like the way he smelled, just move, right? Yeah, that's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Let the man be him. I mean, that's some
Yeah.
dirty shit. But, let that man live. Like they say, can I live? You know what I'm saying? Like, but I will say that's some dirty ass shit, though. I mean, that's.
It's wild. I mean, to not have taken a bath or a shower in 60 plus years. I mean, that is really sticking to your commitment. I know that, my issue with Chick-fil-A, is, we just celebrated our 22nd anniversary. But, I know that I can be resilient about, holding my guns or something. But 60 plus years and not taking a bath or a shower is, that is the ultimate. I made my decision and I'm gonna ride it out.
I think we should address those statement you just made. Why do you know the anniversary of when you decide not to have Chick-fil-A?
Not because it was in the springtime, man. So I mean, it's quite common. I mean, I don't know the exact date. It's not on my calendar. Today is I
I hear you.
disregard and dislike Chick-fil-A Day. Nah, it's we know that the general time frame of when said event took place, and we recently celebrated the 20 plus anniversary.
Yeah, but we got to really unpack that though. I think that I don't think you just gave it a fair shot. Like Chick-fil-A is definitely, you know, they when they're on, they're on. You know what I'm saying? Like when Chick-fil-A is on, whether it's breakfast or lunch or dinner, whatever you want to call it, shit. When they on, they on. And you talking about they have too much sodium and shit like that? Nah, dog. When they are on, they're on.
Nah, and you do not hear me discouraging you from going. I said it's the place, I dislike. I mean, if you like Chick-fil-A and you want to go to Chick-fil-A, I mean, that is all you do you. Just like,
Hey,
Small Man. Small Man wanted Chick-fil-A one day. I'm like, God, look, you get that with your mother. I'm not gonna take you to it and spend my money on it. But I mean, if you want to go,
yeah.
have her take you. But nah,
That's some funny shit. That's some funny shit. I'm gonna say nah.
nah,
Thank you. Nah, I
I'm,
hear you.
I'm I'm fully
Same here,
committed, man.
right?
I remember when one of our former guests, when Melvin Coleman, he was playing arena league football, and they had something. They're like, hey, if they score another touchdown, we're giving away free coupons to Chick-fil-A. And I'm walking the door, and somebody gave me a coupon to Chick-fil-A for a free sandwich. I turn around and pass it off to somebody else. I'm like, hey, here, enjoy yourself. I didn't rip it up or deny it or be rude about it. I took it and gave it away.
So you want on some real hating shit. You just on some like hating shit. I get you.
Ah, man, and and I always go back and forth, because a lot of women have been like, hey, why don't you like Chick-fil-A? And the example I always give them is, if you go to a beautician and it's your first time going to that beautician, and the beautician burns the back of your neck with a curling iron, are you gonna go back in 2 weeks to see that same beautician, or are you gonna be like, nah, she burned me, that's not happening?
I
And
think
the
that's
same question that I ask, towards a man, like, you have a beard, you go to a barber, and the barber is using the clippers and shaves off your beard, like right here, like below your jawline. You got a nice bald spot right there. Now you gotta shave your entire beard off to compensate for that. Are you gonna go back to that same barber that's your first time going to
No, I respect it, man. That's a real statement. I'm just simply saying that, dog.
him?
I definitely agree with you. I hear you on that. That's a valid way. But like I say, you know what I'm saying? That was a great way to explain that messaging right there, right? And that delivery made sense, right? That you can connect with
Yeah.
it, you know? And I think people have to be mindful of that. But yeah, no, I agree, man. I think I agree with you on that. There's some things you have to take a stand because what they say, if you don't stand for nothing, you fall for everything. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So you got to have something you have to have a stance on, something that you do stand strong against. So, but I do think not taking a shower or bath or putting water. I mean, maybe he used the rainwater. You know what I'm saying to take a bath. I just can't imagine he's had that much shit on him for 60 years. I just don't see that. Do you put deodorant on? Like, what do you do?
No, I saw the picture of him, and the dirt was caked on him, and it looked like I mean he was described as like a being like resembling a caveman. So now if he's outside and it starts raining, I didn't see anything that says that the man goes and runs away from the rain or goes and crawls into a hole to avoid the rain, anything like that. But the man is not take any type of bath with soap and water combined,
No,
to cleanse
hey,
himself.
well, maybe it was a religious thing. Maybe he didn't want any of the what's the pig pork in? What's the pork in? The pig is the not gelatin, but it's I forgot what the fuck it's called, but it's something that comes from a pig that helps to get the lather of soap.
Mm.
So sometimes when you get those, or certain kind of soaps, you get less lather because it doesn't have that. Some people associate lather with being clean. The more soap you see,
Yeah,
or I think that's a very false misconception because I think
yeah.
you can be clean without having a whole bunch of lather.
Nah, this is true, and just like some people like to just use that bar soap and claim they're clean, not have a towel or a rag. So yeah, I mean, you may
That,
smell
that's
fresh, but are you clean?
that's some other shit right there. I mean, I don't think that like that. I think that is. I don't think that's cool. I don't know how you're wiping off dirt without using a towel, something to wipe it off. And I think there should even be a cadence of how you use your towel, right? Because
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. I think, or maybe you have two towels, right? Because I don't think you can. What do you
yeah.
think the longest you can reuse a hand towel?
Oh man, I think a
What should be
couple
the
days,
rule?
no, a couple days, no more than a week. If your towel starts to, if your towel loses the freshness,
Mm-hmm.
then it's definitely time to go ahead and recycle that. It's time to reach in the closet, grab another one because I mean the towel is scrubbing I mean dirt and skin cells and all that stuff off your body, so it's going to retain something, so when it loses that freshness, it's definitely time to go. And I am a firm believer that you got to have two towels. You got to have a face
Yeah,
towel and a body towel.
that's fair.
you
Okay,
know no,
that's fair.
if you run around with one towel, I definitely have just lost respect for you because that you're doing a little too much.
Yeah, I mean you
Certain
you
things are
wiping
touching that should not be touching.
nah, you wiping your ass and then putting it on your face, or you wiping your face. Like I just you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. Like there should be a cadence. And yes, two towels
Yeah.
should be mandatory. And I know for me, I go through towels like it's nobody's business. I think to the point to where it have impact on the water bill. But fuck it, I can't. Just certain things. It's not one thing I could do.
No, I respect it. I used to know someone who would never reuse towels. It's like they operated at home like they were in a hotel. It's like you use the towel and towels on the floor, now you're getting a fresh set of towels. Now I wouldn't go that far. Like I said, a couple days,
Yeah.
definitely no more than a week. But yeah, you definitely got to use something to help you lather up. You can't just be using that bar soap,
No,
or you
facts.
can't just be putting. can't be putting the body wash in the palm of your hand and cleansing yourself. That's not how it works.
That's not how it works at all. No. You gotta. You need something to scrub, whether it's a loofah, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I don't care what it is. You gotta use something. You know. Now, I remember when loofahs first came out, they were associated only with women's body wash.
Yeah.
You know. Now I think
Yeah.
there's a whether or not people are loofah folks or they're towel folks.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie. I've been down that loofah road, but I think it's all in the color of the loofah. I prefer to use a black or a gray or a dark color. But I can say with honest eyes that tall man would never use a pink or a beige loofah or anything like that. I mean, it has to be the color scheme has to be correct. But I mean they've been thrown into the mix before.
And I feel you, right? I will sit there. I have before, you know, uh, I've used a colorful loofah before.
When we say colorful, I mean, can you be a little more specific?
It wasn't like
That's a very broad statement.
it wasn't like tie dye and shit, right? It wasn't multicolor. It didn't have certain color patterns, right? It was just a different color, right? But I think even with loofahs, people get that fucked up too, because people will use a loofah longer than they would use a towel. Because they think they just rinse it off like a dish towel, or I don't know, But I think there should be limits or timelines on how long you use the same towel, whether you're washing dishes or you're washing your body, whatever it is. And those are two different towels. Make sure we all understand that, all right? We gotta.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Like
I
you
mean,
can't
the
sit
format.
there. Yeah, like you can't sit there and be like, oh man, I washed all my dish towels and my hand towels together and I fold them all up in the linen closet. And that shit work.
Nah. Dish rags. That's what I call them. Dish rags. Stay in the kitchen.
And then you have
Two different sets.
you have a counter rag, you have a dish rag. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be able to have. I think there's differences to that shit.
Oh, no, I totally agree, man. That is a true statement.
But folks out here using loofahs, for 2 weeks at a time, and then they got people fool talking about they can wash them and shit. Nah, dog, like, throw that shit away. What you doing?
Yeah. I mean, the price point on a loofah, man, you could next time you're in a grocery store, you can just throw that in the bag. And throw it in the cart. That's not something you need to be, washing and reusing. That's going a little too far for my life.
No, you can. They're $1 now. Fuck it, just fucking get a loofah. Be all right.
But you know what they need to do, and if they take my idea, I definitely want a percentage. They need to start putting those things in 3-packs.
Facts.
So folks know that, hey, you run through one, all right, here's the next one. You ain't got to worry about running out to the store and, grabbing something. You just reach on the shelf and boom. Because, I mean, I don't know about you, but in my days of buying loofahs, I definitely wasn't walking to the register with a handful of them. I'm grabbing one on a pinky finger or index finger and, carrying my stuff and, going to check out. But, put those in a 3-pack.
Yeah,
Make life easy.
But I got a question now. What would you do if you found out one of your house guests didn't believe in using washcloths and they wash their ass with your bar soap?
Well, see that's a whole different situation because my house guests are gonna have their own bathroom with a fresh bar of soap in it each time they come. My soap stays in my domain. My soap will never travel around to another bathroom in the house.
Well, even for a guest bathroom. So you're saying, say when you have separate guests, that you always get a new fresh bar of soap. So say the guest was there for one day, do you give the next guest a new bar of soap?
Yeah, either I'm bringing out fresh bar of soap, or I'm just gonna have a neutral body wash in there, and let
That's
you make
fair.
your own decision.
That's fair. I respect that. Good option. You're
Because
good.
I mean, well, because I'm gonna have that there, but I know when I travel, I always bring my own, body wash because I mean, you could be set up, I mean, I could be a Old Spice guy, and you go somewhere for a week, and now you're using Dove lavender with
Yeah.
caramel or something. I don't want that kind of scent. That kind of scent's gonna throw off my whole essence and throw off my cologne. So nah, I
Now I
can't do
feel you, man. It throws off the pheromones. You know what I'm saying?
that.
So I
Yeah,
remember this
yeah.
guy,
I'm not.
man. This one guy, he was talking about he went to he was in the movie. He's talking about uh, these joints smell my pheromones and going like this and shit. I'm like, dog, you don't shut the fuck up. What's wrong with you? He's giving me this story. I was like, dog, you just sound stupid. Shut up. But like I say, you know what I'm saying? People out here, you got some wild folks out here.
Exactly, exactly. Man, he's wild already for throwing out that SAT prep word in the movie. There, that's
Yeah, dog. He was telling me a story, dog, about when he was going to the movie. And these joints, he used another choice of words. Talking about, man, they be smelling my pheromones, man. I be having, I'm like, dog, shut the fuck up. Sound stupid. Sound fucking retarded. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man.
But that's who we're among.
Yeah, hey, I mean, to each his own though. But yeah, I'm definitely not soap sharing. That's
Yeah, that's against the law.
that yeah, yeah. I'm not gonna be a part of that, man.
No, I can dig it. I can dig it. But yeah, man, it's
Yeah.
and I know we're getting close, man. I know we come back to wrap it, man. But it's as you hear, man, it's fall season. You know what I'm saying? It's comfortable, it's cool, and obviously we got to get ready for it. We about to do our first pumpkin carving. You know,
Okay.
so that's gonna be pretty dope. You got Halloween, and it's my favorite holiday coming up after that.
Yeah,
Now
man. It is literally
competition,
right around the corner.
the competitions of the mac and cheese.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. It's that time, man. So we're trying to see if there's a grocery store out here. I'm not
Mm,
going to name drop. I feel like I've name dropped too many brands, in one podcast. But we were told that around Thanksgiving, they have turkeys. So we're gonna try and get our hands on the turkey and definitely some turkey wings, man. 'Cause I have
yeah,
not seen turkey wings since I've been here, let
yeah,
alone
yeah.
you know a turkey. But trust me, if we see those turkey wings in the store, definitely gonna grab a couple packs
Hey, man.
for the freezer. Yeah, man, I love my jerk turkey wings. So I need to have that into the new year. So
Yeah,
we're gonna
I,
see, man. But it is one other thing that I came across that was pretty funny. That I wanted to run by you. Our good friend, young Jock down in the great state of Georgia, the great city of Atlanta. The man, made he was trending, last week on social media because I guess he inadvertently sent somebody, the wrong person, $1,800 on Zelle, and he reached out to him and was, pleading, saying, "Hey, look, I made a mistake. I'm gonna need you to send my $1,800 back." The person blocked his number, so then he took to, social media to get the people to rally behind him, to reach out to said individual to ask them to send that $1,800 back. And I'm looking at the situation like, all right, one, I mean, I know you were an artist,
yeah,
and you're on TV, so you're making some sort of money. I don't count anybody's pockets, so I don't know financially, what you're going through, that's private, that's on you. But I'm looking at it two ways. One, I'm looking at it like it's $1,800. So why are you causing all this fuss, for $1,800? And then two, I'm looking at so many steps that you have to do on Zelle before you send the money, to confirm
yeah,
it's the person. I know if it's somebody new, I'm looking at number two, three times. I'm making sure
yeah.
something pops up. And the system even asks you, like, hey, this
Are
person's
you
not your
sure?
contacts. Are you sure you want to
Yeah,
send this money? So for you to complete all those steps and hit send, it's like it's one of those things you just gotta chalk up. Like, all right, well, look,
yeah,
that 1,800 is gone. I made a mistake. Going forward, I'm definitely going to triple check and be sure that this is the individual, I'm sending the money to. I mean, that's my take on it.
Yeah, it's a good lesson
So
learned. Yeah, I mean, it's a lesson learned.
yeah,
Like in life, that's what you get. You get lessons learned, and not counting nobody's pocket, but you know what I'm saying. That could be an expensive lesson learned. I bet you'll check again.
yeah, for sure.
So I have no sympathy for him. It'll be all right. He'll figure it out.
And that was my thought process as well,
Yeah, like, I don't know, man. There's like I said, man, shit. People out here, man. It's just such a fucking interesting world we live in, man. It's
man.
so
It is.
very interesting. People's mentality. You know what I'm saying? But again, that's just the way they are. It's who they are. Gotta figure out. You can't.
Yeah.
Gotta figure out how to maneuver around them. Keep it moving.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Hey, before we get out of here, man, anything else on your chest or what's going on this weekend?
Not much. Halloween, but I take the little one out. Got a pretty dope, little family gig going on. So it's cool, man. We got it's a busy weekend. I got the little one in gymnastics now.
Okay.
Yeah, man. And I was impressed by one of her first days. She walked a little beam, and so it was cool.
Nice.
I was like, all right, we were going to do a couple tours out to a couple different ones, but I think we found the one she liked. Cause the first one she wasn't fucking with. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't fucking with that at all. But this one right here, the teacher was pretty solid, right? And it focused
Okay.
on that age group. So it was dope. So, just doing, family shit, dad shit. You know what I'm saying? Just doing shit.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up.
And what they doing out there? I mean, Halloween. I mean, honestly, I don't even know if that's I think
Yeah.
states are very interesting when it comes to Halloween. A lot of people have different names for it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. It's I'm starting to see a little Halloween activity. I know at work, we've got a trunk or treat that's going down on Saturday for the kids,
Mm.
and then they've done they created like a little haunted house, and I mean individuals are throwing like little small house gatherings for Halloween. So
Yeah.
it's actually I mean a lot going on this weekend surrounding Halloween. So I think Saturday we're going to check out the trunk or treat as we'll
Yeah.
participate in that. But other than the trunk or treat, and I tell you that is all I have going on Saturday, man. I am relaxing, man. After the last two weekends of being out, it's even thrown off my gym schedule. Usually I'm used to hitting the gym for about an hour and a half on Saturdays. So I'm just going to relax and lay low. Do some things around the house. Maybe even go check out the beach this weekend. 'Cause the weather's solid now. I mean
The
the
weather's
water
90.
is perfect. Yeah, I mean the water is cool. I was talking with one of my neighbors yesterday. We were talking about the pools because we had just learned how to turn the chiller on in our pool about maybe 6 weeks ago. I know the
Mm-hmm.
water was feeling like bath water that you ran like 30 minutes ago. Now you're hopping in. It was lukewarm. So it really wasn't. It wasn't what you look for when you hop into a pool. And
Yeah.
they were like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
we just turned on our heater on the pool, just to warm the water up a little bit, the water's cool, but may swing past the beach, man, hang out there. I got a plastic hookah that looks just like a real hookah. It stands about 24 inches high.
Oh shit.
So I bought that when we went glamping. So I was going to, smoke that out there, but of course, they had some rules in place which, didn't allow outside shisha, but luckily, the shisha, purveyors there, we became very good friends during, the
Okay.
2 day stay, so that was taken care of. But the thing about taking that out on the beach and, breaking that in. So
Okay.
That's about it, man. But I will let you know how the Halloween experience goes out here. Like I said, I'm seeing certain things in different pockets. I mean, of course, it's not as big as it is in the states. With dedicated Halloween stores, but it's a little activity though.
I get you. I get you. I mean, it's different. Growing up, I never really celebrated like that. I had to go to hallelujah parties and shit. So
Yeah, I remember you telling me that. Yeah,
yeah,
by the time you got home, it's like all the porch lights were off.
all the porch lights were off, man. So we ain't really going trick or treating. We just got a couple good folks. They got some events going on. Got a good buddy having a baby shower, so that's gonna be dope. They doing a Halloween theme, so it'll be cool. So
Oh man,
be a good time, man. It's gonna be a good weekend.
that's what's up, man. Hey, but before we get out of here, I want to shout out my man Vern J. Came through with the T-shirt. So I appreciate him. I placed the order, a while back. So while I was back in the States, I went past my mama's crib, picked up some packages, and this is waiting for me. So, definitely, shout out to my man Vern J. And before we get out of here, you know, once again, don't forget that you can follow Shisha to You, reach out to them if you need something for hookah. You can hit us up and follow us on Twitter at InTheBowPod. We always say we are two highly opinionated individuals. So if we said something struck a chord with you or you have a difference of opinion, let us know. Let's talk about it. We're definitely open, to hearing other persons, viewpoints and opinions. And last but not least, don't forget to keep those hookahs clean. After every use, rinse it out. Make sure that it's all good to go. So if you have guests or a company come over, you lessen your prep time. Now you up and smoking in maybe 10 minutes or so. You don't have folks waiting around and they're not sitting here, about to lose a lung because you haven't cleaned your hookah in a month. So treat those hookahs right. So until next time, we appreciate you.
And as always, click, like, and subscribe.
Hustle 5 Ways Radio.